I'm Brandan and Reilly. We're talking all things football with Bianca Cucinotta. Bianca, a very good morning to you. A very, very good morning now that I've pressed the right button. Try that one again.
There you go.
Good. It always works better when you light up two red buttons and turn your microphone on. It's been one of those mornings around town. Bianca, it's all going on. I'm sure you've got it in here somewhere. The soccer ground up the road here is
correct.
Absolutely flooded with people from everywhere.
So no SJSA as such today. No Sunday League this week. It is country champs.
66 different teams, approximately. I think I read in the paper yesterday, have floated in for the weekend around here at Shepparton, and that's really going to test that lack of parking out up there. And when I come into the studio here this morning, I already saw 2 caravans set up, and they're taking up about 6 or 7 spots, and I was sitting there going, why?
You see the signage down there at McEwen Reserve as well. I know it's not something that you want to do, but there is parking down past the hockey courts, up towards the netball courts. I know that it's further away.
And you're like, oh, I've got to walk. Well, that's tough.
At the end of it, it is there. It's just not as convenient. Sorry, guys.
That's right. I think it gets back into a lot of people have gone soft. I suppose that's the way I look at it. Parking-wise, they're not happy enough to walk that extra couple hundred metres. When I go down the football and that in Melbourne, I'll park my car in at the Docklands there in the big multi-deck car park, and then I'll go for a walk all the way around to Amy Park there, or I'll catch the tram or something around. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and when you're walking out of the ground, as you know, 30,000 people are not going to fit onto the first 15 trams. So my cousin and I, we just always go, it's not worth the hassle of waiting around. We always just walk it, a couple of k's back to Flintstone. I think some of the people down here just have to realise that, sometimes I'm just not going to get a park. And if I'm not prepared to turn up early, well then that's just the way it is. There's always plenty of parking up the 1FM end of the ground, and they're just not happy enough to walk.
It's bizarre, but at the end of the day, people want to get out the car and have the shop or have the ground right there at their feet. So it's all good though. It's all human nature.
That's right.
They'll get used to it eventually.
Someone will have to learn to walk.
That's it.
Bianca, there's heaps going on football news around.
There is. I'm going to start with Goulburn Valley Suns last week. They won against Werribee City.
A very good outfit you had on too that you sent back to us, the lovely Ugg boots and that, and I don't blame you, because Werribee is a lovely cold hole down that way.
I did bring my slippers and a blanket for me to rug up in, and at the start everyone looks at you like, what? And then about half time they're going, you were smart.
Mate, you've got this worked. You've been here before.
But so at half time, 0-0 scoreline.
Yep.
Boys so unlucky. They could feel it coming, and you could see it. You could see the desperation in the boys. They really did play so well in that first half. 30 seconds into the second half, Craig Carter gets a ball down the line, back of the net.
Bang.
Bang.
Cop that.
That's it. And it was just you could just tell. I actually asked some of the boys, what was it like in the rooms at half time? And they said we could just feel it. We all felt so good at half time. We could feel we were playing well, and we knew it was coming. And they went out in the second half, and they brought it out in there how they were playing. So Craig Carley, 30 seconds into the second half, scores, followed by a little bit later on into the second half, Matt Elliott gets a ball, chips the ball over the defender, and it lands right in front of Craig Carley's feet. Right, he's got his back turned to where Matt's passing the ball, so he's chipped the ball over, lands at Craig's feet. Craig's about to strike this ball, and the keeper takes him out.
Oh no, that's instant penalty.
So we get the pen. Billy Marshall steps up to the plate, back of the net, 2-0 Suns.
Absolutely. Love it.
So the Suns, they really did dominate. Both teams did fight to win, but Suns definitely produced the goods. Werribee unable to get through the Suns' defence. Our back line just took it to a whole new level last week. Really owned the game, worked well, spoke well, lifted the midfield to where they needed to be, and just the overall playing of the team altogether, it really looked so good. I often say, how come it seems to lift in the last 10 to 15 minutes, and I know we've spoken about that before.
It does, doesn't it?
But this game here, you could see it from the start of the game to the end of the game. These boys wanted to show their own in this game, and I think that had a lot to do as well. Throughout the week last week, they were getting a little bit of flack, I guess, from the media. It was, even though the two sides were equal on both sides of the ladder, had the same amount of points, same amount of goals, everything just matched up perfectly. A lot of it was being talked about how Werribee hadn't lost recently and Suns had dropped a few games, and it was talking up the opposition quite a bit, and I think that made the boys step up.
The firepower to go into it, because even that 1-0 loss at home that we watched the other week, and it wasn't as if the boys played bad.
No.
They just got a really lucky goal on the break, I suppose.
Yep.
I thought the Suns certainly outclassed them well and truly in the end, and like we all thought, that goal had gone in the back of the net, but it turns out it was miles away. But the boys hadn't played overly poorly. They'd just been unlucky on a couple of occasions, and that's football.
And as they say, the ball is round and can bounce anyway.
Oh, that's right.
So, so then Adam Birchall, it was his first game last week.
Congratulations.
So Birchie did really well, although you could see, it's his first game, so you could see that he's probably having to get used to the pace of NPL a little bit, playing in a new team. So he didn't play out the full 90, but I definitely think he will this week.
He just got the feel for it.
Yeah.
And this week we're off to Dandenong.
Dandy City this week. They are under 20s kick off at 1, seniors kick off at 3. So if you're in Melbourne and you're around that area.
Tomorrow? Today. It is today, yeah. So you're off to there straight after this?
Nah, not today. Dandenong's too cold for me.
Set Matt on his own.
The boys were on the bus at about 7:30 this morning. So,
that's keen.
And Dandy City are sitting in second position on the east side of the table with 33 points. So they've won 10 games this season compared to the Suns, who are sitting in fourth position with 22 points and have won 7 games.
So we're still sitting...
Definitely. Definitely. Both ourselves and Melbourne City are on the 22 points. So City are in third spot on goal difference.
Yep.
But a draw or a win today and we could be up to third place. So it is very, very tight on our side of the table.
Who's on top at the moment, if you don't mind me asking?
On top is...
Moreland up there? I'll put you under the bus.
I've got the table just here.
Sorry,
actually.
Bianca.
No,
I have put you straight under the bus on this one.
Moreland.
It is Moreland.
It is Moreland. So, sorry, I've lost my track. So Suns are in fourth position, 22 points. A win today will put them in third. Out for this week is Billy Marshall and captain Cody Selwood. Billy's taken the week off due to a calf injury, and Cody, who has been struggling with his hip, we saw last week he came off in the second half. We'll see Birchie again, Adam Birchall, back in the side, and like I said previously, I do see him playing the full 90 minutes. Also, Jamie England's back, who was out last week, comes back into the side. Key presence against City. Key presence. Dandy City have a lot of big boys, a lot of strong, tall, big boys, and that's where, right in the middle of the ground, Jamie's key there. So he'll definitely make a difference this week. It is a hard pitch to play on up there at Dandy City. To start off with, you've got a 3.5 hour bus trip.
Yeah, by the time the boys, especially at 7:30 this morning, there's no way I would have been functioning very pretty at all 7:30 this morning, and then you're cramped in the bus.
That's number one. City like to play facing their fans during the second half. They always have.
Oh, really?
It's every time we've gone there, I know they do usually ask the opposition team. They kind of say, look, understand flipping the coin and all that. We like to play facing our fans in the second half.
And most teams comply out of that. It's a sign of respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You'd be surprised how much City lift in the second half when they're facing their fans.
It just comes together.
It's crazy. And it's always windy and it's always cold. If you go out there, their ground's kind of, it is out in the bush kind of, out in the mountains. And, they actually have built the pitch up. So it's kind of sits higher than all the trees and everything around there.
Oh, right.
So you do cop quite a bit
the whole,
of, yeah,
right. So, and today nearly be perfect conditions for all that, hence why you're sitting in here with me.
That's why I'm here. But yeah, so that'll be interesting. I mean, with Cody and Billy out as well, they're two key game-changing players that really do set a lot of the plays up for the Suns. But in saying that, we definitely have the depth in the side with the 20s and with the bench players that can step up and can hold their own, especially with like Birchie back in now. You've got, and then we've got Jamie.
Young Bowl still running around in the senior side there.
Who?
Young Bowl. Oh, I can't think of his name off the top of my head now.
Bowl.
He played the other week here in Shep. I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay.
I might get his name wrong. I'm sure he played the other week. I'll get back to you.
Okay. Because I don't know.
I'm sure I'll get that one wrong. I'm on a roll here this morning. I'll find that one.
But yeah, then we've got the Bendigo Amateur League, so the Basil League.
Basil.
Last week, Shepparton South were defeated by Eaglehawk 2-3. I mean, Joel Aiken, you can't ask much more from the fella. He scored both their goals.
What do you do?
What else can you do? But yeah, so in saying that, he also did get a yellow card, as did Hayden Deal and Sean Kane. And I mean, this is something that we have spoken about previously, the amount of cards that get thrown out in the Sunday League.
They love it, don't they?
Nathan Radevsky, though, red card in the 90th minute, straight red.
Why? What did he do?
Look, I'm not too sure exactly what's happened here, but I bring it down to bad discipline.
Oh, okay.
I think in the 90th minute, you're down 3-2.
Game's already over.
And your frustrations are high. You've got to control yourself, especially as a leadership role in that team. You do. You need to step up and show the rest of the team how they need to be acting, I think, Nate. But yeah. Then we've got Spring Gully defeated Shepparton 4-0. This was a big loss for Shep. Big loss. Disappointing for Shepparton. It was a must-win for them, but honestly, the scoreline like that tells me they may not have had a full squad go to Bendigo.
Yep.
And at this rate, I just don't know how Shep's going to survive into next season, because they are falling lower and lower on the table. But not only that, the players just aren't committing themselves. So I really, really hope that everyone gets around Shep and builds them up, and get down to their game, support them, and get around them, because we definitely don't want to see one less team here in Shepparton.
Absolutely.
Final game for the locals here last week was Tatura. They drew with Strathdale 3-3.
Yep.
The goal scorers for Tatura were Tristan Zito, Thomas Leach and Louis Coyle. This was the game to be at. Close with all goals scored. They were all just a few minutes apart, bar the last one. Unfortunately, Tatura were leading up until the 82nd minute. And then Strathdale scored the equaliser.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's nearly criminal. That last 10 minutes, you really have to finish out a game.
That's it. That's where... Look, and I'm not too sure how they played, because I was in Melbourne with the Suns last weekend, but in all fairness, I would have parked the bus.
Oh, I would have parked the bus for sure.
Last 10 minutes, you've got to get back there.
You have to
and
park
then
the bus.
at 3-3, 10 minutes to go, I'm changing it up. I want 3 points. I don't want one.
That's right.
I'm pushing. I'm pressing.
Once you level that time, you have to start pushing forward. You have to take that 3 points, because that 3 points, well, the extra difference in the 2 points there, it is crucial between making that next stage and dropping right out.
Correct. So then for this week, there's no games because of Country Champs.
Yep.
So they have a bye this week and will be back next week. And Shepparton United last week also had the bye.
Right, I'm with you. Yep. And Alo Qual. Hello, Qual. That's who I was thinking of before. I found it.
Okay. Hello. We all love Hello.
We all love Hello. Is he still playing this week?
He will be in the 20s this week. He will depending on how the 20s are, he may step up to the seniors. It'll just depend on if a kid like that's played 90 minutes.
You sort of want to look after him for the rest of the day.
Yeah. And hats off to Zach Balabiroff last week. He got the call up and he played 90 minutes in the 20s. And then Craig said to him, Zach, you warm up. And he just looked at me like, I've just played 90 minutes. And he said, he was like, nah, I'm stuffed. And one of the other defenders came on instead, which was great. Good. Jordan Montagna did a great job.
And at least he had the courage to stand there and go, mate, I'm knackered. Find someone else who might be better off.
Because that could be clean sheet or no clean sheet right there.
That's right, yeah.
So, Big Montags did a great job last week as well.
Fantastic.
So, World Cup.
Oh, Bianca, I've got it here. I'm a bit excited because it starts Friday morning for those who are going to sit up. Best of luck to my workmates who are going to put up with me very early Friday morning. Countdown's on. We've got 5 days, 13 hours and 14 minutes. So till 1 a.m. Friday morning for the first game to kick off between Russia and Saudi Arabia.
It's on like Donkey Kong.
I can't wait. Our first game Saturday night against France, 8 p.m.
It is.
So 8 p.m. Australian time that is.
Tomorrow morning, 1:30 a.m. We have a friendly against Hungary. Few players that we did want to touch on, we spoke about earlier. Daniel Lozani.
Absolutely. What a gun. Yeah, he's still got a 1-year contract left at Melbourne City. Now, we touched on off air, but I think we've got to touch on it on air. He will not be playing for Melbourne City for this upcoming A-League season. Once you feature in this World Cup squad and side and play, and he plays well in this World Cup, he'll be off to Europe for sure. Youngest player at the World Cup. This tournament.
Yep.
I think he'd nearly go close to youngest player of all time too. I'll double check that one for next week's show, but yeah. So he'd have to go close.
That's point one. He's signed with City, okay? You'll find that he will be able to get overseas through Manchester City. I'm not saying that he's going to play for Manchester City.
You reckon he's going to be poached out?
But he's going to be, they will see him and they will sell him. That's my personal belief. But yeah, I definitely don't see him playing in Australia next year.
No way.
And that's good for him. That's good for us. That's good for the A-League, because you want to see that these young kids, these players that are in the A-League, that are Aussies, they can play.
Oh, that's right, because then they go overseas, and now I'm not saying we're destroying the local comp, but I'm saying for our Australian side this is beneficial for them because they can go over to, whether it be the EPL or the Serie A or somewhere like that, they can go over there and they can better themselves, so when they come back home for these World Cup tournaments we can start going deeper and deeper.
Even in smaller, like Scottish Prem or anything like that, like there's so many areas that will be, everyone's eyes are on the World Cup.
Oh, everyone.
Right?
Absolutely. Everyone who doesn't even follow football.
Correct.
Everyone's watching the World Cup.
So at the end of it, we want to build our local competition. We want to build the A-League. So if you're seeing that players from the A-League are going elsewhere, are making it overseas, then you've got your older players who are looking at retiring, looking at playing their last few games. The big names, they may then be inclined to come to Australia because they're saying, oh, well, it's still a decent standard. These kids that are coming through are making it into, you've got your Aaron Moyes, you've got your Yeti, you've got Matty Ryan. They're doing well.
Yeah, overseas, They're fantastic players to have overseas. To come back and play for your country is remarkable.
Yeah.
I'll just touch on quickly here. Our 23-man squad was named last Sunday morning. We've got in goals Matty Ryan, Brad Jones and Danny Vukovic. At the back we'll have Trent Sainsbury, Mark Milligan, Milos Dedanak and Matty Duriman. Along the defensive flanks with Aziz Behic, is that how you say it? Behic. Josh Risden and Millwall's James Meredith. The Socceroos skipper Mile Jedinak, along with Aaron Moy, Massimo Luongo, Jackson Irvine and Tom Rogic. On the wings we'll have Matty Leckie, Robbie Cruz, Daniel Arzani, Dimitri Petrados. Out the top we'll have Tommy Urich, Jamie McLaren and Naboo Andrew Naboo and our man Timmy Cahill.
Our man.
Timmy Cahill. I just don't think the selection's right. I suppose it will be his last World Cup, and I hope for his sake he scores a goal and then we can just farewell him.
I hope for his
peacefully.
sake he gets on.
Yeah, but he's got to perform. He's got to keep his cool, and he's got to think about everyone else other than himself. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I know, big call, but
we see very similar.
He's playing for himself at the moment, and I don't like it.
I don't know. It seems to be such a different player than what we knew.
The 2010 World Cup, I still reckon that goal against the Netherlands was probably goal of the tournament, but everyone else had a different opinion. But yeah, no, I think he's past his time.
Yeah,
is my opinion.
Yeah.
But you've got some players here we're going to highlight.
Yeah. So
this week. And we'll rotate
Daniel,
through.
we've already spoken about Daniel Azani. Then Big Miller Jedinak.
He's huge, isn't he?
The Big Yeti.
The Big Yeti.
He actually has come out this morning saying it hasn't really hit them yet, this World Cup, talking about the Australian team. Worrying, but he seems to believe that once they settle in Russia after tomorrow morning's game, it will sink in. I don't know.
See, like I said before, we touched on this one slightly off air, and when you told me that, I went, oh, no. And then I thought, oh, maybe you're right. When you touch down in Russia, because I think he's probably on the right track here, one step at a time. Let's get through tonight's game. Just keep our cool, whether we win, lose, draw, doesn't matter. I think tonight, just play out the 90 minutes, get a feel. This is everyone gelling together. This is our last chance. Let's make sure we've got it right. And then we'll move into Saturday night's game, where once we touch down in Russia, the feeling will grow and build, and this is how exciting it's going to be. I think I was similar going up to Newcastle. I didn't feel the excitement of the grand final until we hit the pub and the march. Well, that's where the rest of the cheer squad was. And once you got with the boys who were already excited, the feeling got there. I think you're right. Once they touched down in Russia, the feeling around, probably the biggest event in the world, it's going to be an amazing feeling for everyone over there.
And I know I've been involved with enough grand finals and enough big events like that to see that everyone deals with it differently. Some people like to treat it as another game, some people like to extra prepare, and some are completely different to how they would ever act.
That's strange things, doesn't it?
Like, you can't pick it, but look, as long as the boys stick to their game plan, play to their strengths, and learn as much about who they're playing as possible, they will have a good chance going in.
We'll go through our group here. It's certainly not as bad as it was 4 years ago with the group of death.
Still not great.
Still not great. We've got France is the top-tiered side. We've got ourselves. Peru have been marked as a real underdog to cause a lot of damage this World Cup, and Denmark, who are one not to be taken lightly either.
Yeah, in saying that, watch a Peru game, a practice match of theirs a few mornings ago. Not great.
Not great.
They not that they don't do the right things. They play safe football.
That's and
I'm not gonna lie, it was just boring. They don't really try anything. They really just try to hold it, keep possession, and if that means it's 0-0, it's 0-0. So it'll be interesting to see how they go.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm really interested. I'd love to see how close our group actually finishes. I can't see France slipping up too many times, but that all-important second spot, I think there might only be 1 point in it.
Yeah.
That's my gut feel between making it and not making it, and I reckon it'll come down to goal difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I definitely don't think that you should say, there's enough teams this year that haven't made the World Cup that...
Italy's missing. That's probably one of the biggest omissions.
Yeah, you've got no Dutchies
USA.
in.
Yeah, the Netherlands aren't there. But there's so many massive teams.
Yeah, so, you really just don't know. And I think that the games that the Australians have played, these practice matches, they've done remarkable. They've done really, really well.
Well, we slaughtered the Czech Republic the other night, and that wasn't a result that I would have predicted at all. They had it in the paper, the Czech to win 2-0, and I went, yeah, that's probably not a bad one. I thought, might chuck a fiver on it, with the Aussies paying about $5, and I thought, no, the moment I do that, the Aussies will get absolutely slaughtered. And I got to sit there, I got to watch most of the second half, and they just looked like a complete unit.
Yeah, and I think that's, and I don't know if that's as well because they've gone from no coach.
Yeah, to it's a whole new game plan too.
The fact that we've built up to this point, we've been led by one person, and we're now going to change over who's going to take us through the rest of it.
It's a scary process.
That kind of has maybe made the boys band together a little bit more, because they're always a constant, they're always there, but the head man up top's changed, so
we've now got to come together as one.
Yeah.
And this is how it's going to have to be. I reckon we can do it. I can't see why not.
Look, don't rule us out for not beating France.
You reckon?
Don't rule it out.
Wow, that's going to be huge.
The difference will be pace.
Right, I'm with you.
So anyone who's gone from one level of football to the next, they'll notice that the ball moves a lot quicker.
Well, I suppose it's exactly like watching an A-League game at, say, 7 o'clock now, and then sitting down at, say, 11 o'clock tonight and watching an EPL game. Yeah. The difference...
The pace of the actual game is a lot quicker. And I think that's where the difference will be. Because we do have those players that have played overseas now, they'll be used to the pace a little bit more.
Keep it ticking along.
But you've got more of those... the others that might struggle a little bit. But in saying that, I think they've done well against these other international sides. I'm not saying it'll be a smashing, but I think the France game will be close. Closer
than everyone thinks. I tell you what, though, we've got a couple of minutes before news time. Group B and Group F look really interesting. Like, there's a lot of really good sides in here. Group B's got Portugal, Spain, Morocco and Iran. Portugal, Spain and Morocco...
You can't get much more
that's
teams,
a credit
countries,
card.
Countries that want to beat each other any more than that, really, can you?
No, that's right. And then Group F's got Germany, Mexico, Sweden, and the Korea Republic. And any of them on their right day can cause many of upsets. So.
But yeah, so I will ask, Aussies aside.
Aussies aside.
Who do you think will win?
I don't know. So I haven't quite picked. There's too many teams that can...
Nah, I've got mine. You know who mine is?
Really?
Belgium.
Because they are such a dark horse, aren't they?
I really think that they could do it with their eyes.
One talks about it, and they just slide through, knock off half a dozen people and go, where have these blokes come from?
They've come from Chelsea, most of them.
Yeah. Come on, Bianca.
Can you tell I'm a Blues fan?
Buggers the Blues. I think there was a cup recently that I don't think Manchester United turned up for. I don't know. I suppose you look at I suppose you look at Brazil, you look at Germany, you look at France, you look at Belgium, you look at Argentina.
Just remembering as well, next weekend, Golden Valley Suns have a dinner and screening at the ground next week after the Springvale White Eagles game. Games have been bumped up earlier, give plenty of time for dinner at the match. Australia vs France, event starts at 6:30, kick-off at 8, $25, and you get a 2-course dinner and a game on the big screen, drinks at bar prices.
Absolute bargain of a night.
Yep, and it's a family event, so bring the whole
kiddies,
family.
Bring everyone, bring Nan, bring aunties, bring uncles, bring everyone down there.
I'll see